Hello, everyone. Janeway here. Uh, Coming to you to talk today about this destroy, what I'm dubbing destroy negative uh, deck. Um, so the basic idea is very similar to the other one I showed you. So you want to get Mr. Negative out as fast as you can so that all of these cost zeros or less flip, so then they cost nothing. And then on the last turn, you want to really make your move then. So, throw them out, um, like throw out Gore or Null, have Mystique copy it, Zola, Mystique or Gore or Null, and um, use your actual energy to play remaining cards in your hand. So, at that time, you might be able to use the Sangshi because they put out some 10s or higher. You might want to use it on Iron Man. You might notice there's a lot of ones on its side, so you might want to use Killmonger at that time if you have it in your hand, that kind of thing. Um, Now, this deck is in its current form that I'm showing you here. Has some very like kind of set parameters in my mind in terms of when it works and when it doesn't. So, first off, if you don't ever get to Mr. Negative, uh, the deck is a dud. Like you need to have these out. You need to be able to put these heavy hitters out on the last turn. And so, uh, let's say you had Magic out and it's a 7 turn game. You have Gore in your hand on turn 6. You play Gore, and then they'll either Enchantress you or they'll Shang-Chi you or something similar. Mystique can't copy something that's dead. Zola can't duplicate something that's dead, and so and there's a lot of game or a lot of decks where there's at least some sort of counter for ongoing because ongoing decks are still at least somewhat popular. Um, so don't have Saint Chi or don't have Mr. Negative, it's a bust. Um, if when you play Mr. Negative, there's only one thing that you're flipping. So in this case, let's say Mystique is the only thing in your deck, and so she's the only one that gets a zero cost. The deck's probably not going to work in that situation either, because again, you would have to prepare before your final blow and or your final turn, and it's really difficult to win in those kind of situations. Like at that point, you're expecting you are hoping that they get a really bad draw where they can't do anything for their deck. Um, how do we get these once they flip? Jane Foster Thor. She'll get everything that costs zero from your deck. So there's 5 possibilities: Mystique, Iron Man, Gore, Zola, and Null. Um, Flipping at least 2 of them and getting at least 2 of them can work. The more the merrier, though. But because this is so top heavy, you're going to probably only able to use Thor to get 3, sometimes only 2, depending on uh, how you play turn 2 and turn 5, or turn 6 if Magic was able to get out. Um, Just like the other deck, this would be improved significantly with Ravana Renslayer. You'll still run into the same troubles where they might Enchantress or Shang-Chi or do something to your cards that are already in your hand that didn't get affected by Mr. Negative. But, you know, you could potentially put one of them out like Null as a feint and then use last turn, use like Gore or something in a different lane. Kind of depends. If you have a turn 7 and Ravana's out, that means you could do like Gore and Mystique in the same turn. So that's something that could be pretty helpful, especially since if you put something like a Null or an Iron Man out, they might be focused more on that lane than the others. The second and major issue that this deck brings is anything that stops you from lowering your costs, so basically nullifying Mr. Negative's effect, um, is just going to make it so you can't win. So the biggest example of this I've seen is Mobius and Morbius. Yeah, whatever. Uh, where your opponent's cost can't be reduced. So in that situation, your zeros become whatever they originally were, and you're just kind of in a situation as if you never played Mr. Negative. And so in that case, it's really difficult to, slash impossible to really win for the reasons I spoke about before. I've actually been thinking about potentially putting Enchantress in my deck just to counter Mobius. Uh, the most likely thing I would get rid of, I'm not sure. So I'm still thinking that one out. But Mobius hasn't come up too often, but it's come up often enough that it annoys me. So I'm going to be probably fiddling with the stick a little bit to try to get a counter for him. Um, Preferably not Lady Deathstrike. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of this deck. Anything with Mobius in it, if they play it, you're screwed. If your Mr. Negative doesn't show up or doesn't affect enough cards, you're kind of screwed. That kind of thing. So, but when you meet the parameters, when you have at least two, preferably three, that are flipped, that are zero cost, and you're able to get them into your hand by the next turn, either by just drawing them or by Jane Foster Thor, you're in a you're almost always going to end up winning. Like it might take a little Jenga, but to figure out what to do with your actual energy, but you're usually in a good spot to win the game. There's not really any decks I've come across that kind of make it impossible to win once parameters are met. You might have to deviate a little bit from using your 6 or 7 mana on one of your 6 costs instead and use like a Shang-Chi Killmonger combo or something like that. But it is still uh, very possible to end up winning if you have enough zero cards in your hand for the last turn. Um, okay, so that's about the gist of what I want to say about this deck. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment them on the video below. I hope this was informative, and I hope to see you again soon. Janeway out.